So, in continuation with the first chapter of the ecology, organisms and population, we will continue with habitat. So, what is a habitat? Habitat is the living place or dwelling place of the organisms. Organisms where they live, that is known as habitat. So, it is a specific place or locality is a specific place or locality delimited by a combination of factors. Delimited by a combination of factors like the physical features where a community resides. तो हैबिटेट एक स्पेसिफिक प्लेस होता है जहाँ पर एक कम्युनिटी रहता है और वो स्पेसिफिक प्लेस का कुछ खास कैरेक्टर होता है, कॉम्बिनेशन ऑफ द फैक्टर्स होता है, जैसे कि फिजिकल फैक्टर्स है एंड उसका बेरियर्स भी है. एंड द प्लांट्स एंड एनिमल्स दे अडेप्ट देमसेल्फ टू स्पेसिफिक कंडीशंस ऑफ देयर हैबिटेट. तो प्लांट्स एनिमल्स जो उस हैबिटेट में रहते हैं वो उस हैबिटेट की फैक्टर के साथ अपने आप को अडेप्ट करते हैं. अगर अडेप्टेशन नहीं होगा तो फिर that plant and animal or organisms cannot survive there. So, plants and animals adapt themselves. Plants and animals adapt themselves to specific conditions of their habitat. Specific conditions of their habitats. So, different type of habitats are there. So, characteristic adaptations related to a particular habitat are not found in organisms of another habitat. एक habitat में जो characters दिखाता है एक organism, those characters are not found in the other organisms of other habitats. इसका मतलब है एक हैबिटेट खास होता है जो कि एक ऑर्गेनिज्म वहीं पर अडेप्टेशन दिखाता है. दूसरे टाइप के ऑर्गेनिज्म दूसरे टाइप का अडेप्टेशन दिखाते हैं, दूसरे टाइप का कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स दिखाते हैं. तो अडेप्टेशन आर डिफरेंट इन डिफरेंट हैबिटेट्स. सो अर्थ में बहुत सारे हैबिटेट्स है. कुछ हैबिटेट्स तो अनफेवरेबल है और कुछ फ्यू फेवरेबल हैबिटेट्स है. सो लाइफ एग्जिस्ट इन फ्यू फेवरेबल हैबिटेट्स. सो लाइफ एग्जिस्ट इन फ्यू favorable habitats. Life exists in few favorable habitats and also in extreme and harsh habitats, and maybe in or even in extreme and harsh habitats. So, different kinds of habitats are there. Some of the habitats are favorable, some are the unfavorable habitats, extreme and harsh habitats, like the desert is the extreme and harsh habitats. So, give some examples of extreme and harsh habitats. Some examples of extreme and harsh habitats. Scorching Rajasthan desert. So, one of the example is scorching Rajasthan desert. So, all of you know that in the desert the temperature is higher. So, the high intensity of sunlight is there and the much more radiation of by the sands. So, extreme high temperatures are there. So, that is called scorching Rajasthan desert. Rain soaked Meghalaya forests. Next example is rain soaked Meghalaya forests. Rain soaked Meghalaya forest, where the high rainfall, annual mean rainfall is very much higher in the northeastern zones, particularly in Meghalaya. So, forests are very humid conditions because of the huge rainfall. So, that is called rain soaked Meghalaya forests. Deep ocean trenches and the torrential streams. Deep ocean trenches then is torrential streams. So, highly flowing streams and very deep ocean where the trenches are present, that is also some harsh habitats. Permafrost polar regions, permafrost polar regions. In the polar regions, prolonged winter is found, where the winter lasts for the very huge prolonged period, and their soil is depleted with the ice. So, frozen soil. So, frozen soil is known as permafrost. So, पोलर रीजन की जो फ्रोजन सॉइल होते हैं, परमाफ्रॉस्ट होते हैं, उसमें भी बहुत हार्श हैबिटेट है, एक्सट्रीम हैबिटेट, वहाँ पर लाइफ बहुत very less numbers of living organisms are found. Then is the high mountain tops. So, high mountain tops are also high mountain tops. So, with the increasing altitude, you know that the temperature decreases, oxygen content also decreases. So, at the top region of the mountain, very less temperature and less oxygen are found. So, that is also extreme and harsh habitat. Next is boiling thermal springs. Boiling thermal springs. So, thermal springs is having high temperature and high acidic nature. So, that is also extreme habitat, and in this condition some archaebacteria can survive, and those archaebacteria are known as thermoacidophiles. They can only survive in this type of boiling thermal conditions, otherwise other living organisms cannot survive there. So, next extreme and harsh habitats are the stinking compost pists. Stinking compost pits. So, compost pits are found in those areas where the methanogenic bacteria are much more in common. So, methanogens. So, that is also a kind of archaebacteria. So, they grow on the compost area and they produce the methane. So, that also stinks very much. So, that is also a harsh habitat. Even our intestine, human intestine is also a unique habitat. Human intestine is also a unique habitat for hundreds of species of microbes, for hundreds of species of microbes. So, this can be considered as a habitat, because human intestine, you know that many bacteria can reside inside our intestine. So, that human intestine is also a unique habitat where hundreds of bacteria are found. So, next is what do you mean by ecological niche? It was the term given by Grinnell. It is called as niche or ecological niche. In 1971, Grinnell gave the term ecological niche. So, what is meaning of the ecological niche? A specific part of habitat occupied by individuals. So, ecological niche means that is habitat plus profession or functions of the organism. एक ऑर्गेनिज्म किस जगह में रहता है और उस जगह में उसका इकोलॉजिकल रोल क्या है और इकोलॉजिकल फंक्शंस क्या है, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज इकोलॉजिकल नीच. इट इंक्लूड्स habitat and functions of organisms with related to environment. That means environment में इसका फंक्शन क्या है और इकोलॉजिकल फंक्शन का इकोलॉजिकल फंक्शंस क्या है. तो ऑर्गेनिजम्स कहाँ पर रहता है और वो उस जगह पे क्या फंक्शन करता है, इसका टॉलरेंस क्या है, इसका मूवमेंट क्या है, किस टाइप का फूड अवेलेबल करता है, शेल्टर क्या है, पीरियड क्या है, टाइमिंग ऑफ एक्टिविटी क्या है. तो स्पेसिफिक पार्ट ऑफ हैबिtat occupied by species and showing different types of functions. Okay. सपोज अगर हम एग्जाम्पल अगर हम देंगे टैडपोल एंड एडल्ट फ्रॉग, दे ऑक्युपाई डिफरेंट इकोलॉजिकल निक. अगर हम एग्जाम्पल देंगे टैडपोल एंड एडल्ट फ्रॉग, you know that tadpole is the larva stage of adult frog. So, tadpole and adult frog occupy different ecological niche. This occupy different ecological niche, that occupy a different ecological niche. Yes. So, why these two organisms occupy different ecological niche? Because here tadpole is herbivorous, but frog is carnivorous. The adult one is carnivorous. That means their food pattern is different and function is different. So, they cannot be in one ecological niche. Okay. Owl and cat. So, another example if we will give, owl and cat, और इसका हम एग्जाम्पल देंगे. So, they both feed on the same type of organism. So, occupy the same niche because of being ecological equivalents. उनका habitat different है. They are having different habitat. Owl and cat are having different habitat, but the food pattern are same. So, they are considered as ecological equivalents. So, they occupy the same niche. Because they occupy same niche because of being ecological equivalents. Because of being ecological equivalents. Because although their habitats are different. So, what are the difference between the habitat and niche? एक habitat बहुत सारे niche को support कर सकता है. एक habitat में many food habits, many functions of the organisms are found. So, one habitat can support many niches. Okay. A habitat supports a number of species. A habitat supports a number of species. The habitat supports a number of species and also possesses numerous ecological niches and also possesses numerous ecological niches. So, how many niches are present there? So, many as per the species. So, एक habitat में बहुत सारे species रहते हैं, लेकिन हर species का अपना feeding pattern, अपना function होता है. तो एक habitat बहुत सारे ecological niches को support करता है, तो उसके अंदर है. An ecological niche supports a single species. Habitat support करता है बहुत सारे species को, but a ecological niche by one ecological niche So, however, an ecological niche supports a single species. Supports a single species. An ecological niche supports a single species. No two species occupy the same niche. Remember, this is the very important point. No two species occupy the same niche. Okay. So, what are the difference between habitat and niche? अगर हम डिफरेंस करेंगे हैबिटेट एंड निच, क्या डिफरेंस है? ओके, तो फर्स्ट इज द इट इज ए स्पेसिफिक प्लेस और लोकेलिटी वेयर ए कम्युनिटी रिजाइड्स. ए स्पेसिफिक प्लेस और locality where a community resides. एक स्पेसिफिक प्लेस है या लोकेलिटी है, एक जगह है जहां पर एक कम्युनिटी रहता है. सो नीच क्या है? एन इकोलॉजिकल कंपोनेंट ऑफ हैबिटेट. हैबिटेट का एक कंपोनेंट है नीच. एन इकोलॉजिकल कंपोनेंट ऑफ हैबिटेट. एन इकोलॉजिकल कंपोनेंट ऑफ हैबिटेट. An ecological component of habitat which is delimited by functioning of an organism, which is delimited by functioning functioning of an organism. The first difference. The second difference है एक हैबिटेट के अंदर बहुत सारे niches होते हैं. Habitat has a number of niches. A habitat has a number of niches. Habitat has a number of niches. A niche does not have components. A niche does not have components. तो हैबिटेट के अंदर बहुत सारे निच होता है. इसका मतलब हैबिटेट का कंपोनेंट निच है. निच का कोई कंपोनेंट नहीं होता है. निच एक फंक्शन है. निच का कोई कंपोनेंट नहीं होता है. निच डज नॉट हैव एनी कंपोनेंट, बट निच इज द कंपोनेंट ऑफ हैबिटेट. Habitat supports a number of species. Habitat supports a number of species. So एक हैबिटेट के अंदर बहुत सारे स्पेसीज होते हैं, तो उस हैबिटेट उस सारे स्पेसीज को सपोर्ट करता है, बट नीच सपोर्ट्स ए सिंगल स्पेसीज. एक स्पेसीज का ओनली वन नीच होता है. सो नीच सपोर्ट्स ए सिंगल स्पेसीज. Niche supports a single species, but habitat supports a number of species. A number of environmental variables occur in a habitat. A number of environmental variables. A number of environmental variables occur in a habitat. A number of environmental variables occur in a habitat. Niche has a specific set of environmental regimes. So, considering these differences, habitat के अंदर बहुत सारे environment लोकल वेरिएबल कंडीशंस होती है, लेकिन हर निच का अपना खुद का स्पेसिफिक सेट ऑफ एनवायरमेंटल कंडीशन होता है. एक हैबिटेट में, इसका मतलब है अगर उसको हम सिंपल वे से समझेंगे तो एक हैबिटेट में बहुत सारे एनवायरमेंटल वेरिएबल कंडीशंस आते हैं, लेकिन निच का उसी हैबिटेट में जो बहुत सारे निच है, एक निच का एक स्पेसिफिक सेट ऑफ एनवायरमेंटल कंडीशन होती है. Okay. So what are the key elements that lead to so much variation in the physical and chemical conditions in different habitats? Because due to the different factors, temperature, water, light and soil, according to the different factors, because the abiotic components are present along with the living organisms. इसका मतलब क्या है? Habitat includes both biotic components as well as abiotic environmental conditions. इसलिए ऑर्गेनिज्म एक हैबिटेट में कैसे डेवलप होगा, वो कैसे अडॉप्ट करेगा उस हैबिटेट की एनवायरमेंटल कंडीशन को, वो उसका इवोल्यूशन और नेचुरल सिलेक्शन के दौरान ये उसका डिटरमिन हो चुका है. दैट मीन्स over a period of time the organism had through natural selection evolved adaptations to optimize its survival and reproduction in its habitat. Okay. Now we'll go to some NCERT points. So you can follow the NCERT points in the page now 221. So here the key elements क्या होता है? Which cause so much variation in the physical and chemical conditions. Key elements which cause so much variation in the physical and chemical conditions. In the physical and chemical conditions. Physical and chemical conditions of different habitats. Of different habitats. So, क्या एलिमेंट है जो कि इतना वेरिएशन कॉज करता है, जो कि हैबिटेट के अंदर इतना वेरिएशन जो होते हैं फिजिकल कंडीशन में, केमिकल कंडीशन में, वो वेरिएशन क्यों होता है? व्हाट आर द की एलिमेंट्स फॉर दैट काइंड ऑफ वेरिएशंस? सो these key elements are many abiotic environmental factors. Many abiotic environmental factors, that is light, temperature, humidity, atmosphere, type of soil, type of microorganisms present in the soil. So, various kinds of abiotic environmental factors are present, and some of the factors are given here: light, temperature, water, soil, etc. The important ones are light, temperature, water and soil. These four are most important abiotic factors or environmental factors that is present in each habitat. So, these elements, these factors that cause the so much variation in the conditions of different habitats, that is the physical condition as well as chemical conditions of different habitats. So, an habitat includes both abiotic components and the biotic components. ऐसे नहीं कि एक habitat में only abiotic components है, यानी कि only physico-chemical factors है. तो physico-chemical factors do not present alone in the habitat. So, along with the physico-chemical factors, living organisms also present in the habitat. Okay. So, the habitat includes physico-chemical, or it is known as abiotic factors. Physico-chemical or abiotic factors also present in the habitat, physiochemical or abiotic components, and also includes living organisms. One is the physiochemical factors, other one is the living or is known as biotic components. Or living components, that means living organisms. So, different kinds of living organisms or living components are present. So, those includes pathogens, parasites, predators, living components, that is pathogens, parasites, predators, competitors, etc. So, different kinds of organisms that they play the different role in the habitat, or that is called the ecosystem. So, pathogens, parasites, predators and competitors. The organisms of the habitat, they interact with each other. ये जो सब जो डिफरेंट काइंड्स ऑफ बायोटिक कंपोनेंट्स है और द ऑर्गेनिजम्स है वो आपस में इंटरेक्शंस करते हैं. सो इंटरेक्शन किस टाइप का इंटरेक्शन? दिस पैरासाइटिक is an interaction, predation is an interaction, competition is an interaction. So, organisms of habitat interact among themselves and as well as with abiotic components. As well as with abiotic components. So, over a period of time, organisms had developed and evolved adaptations. Over a period of time, this is very important point. Over a period of time. तो ये सब जो अडेप्टेशन कैसे हुआ है, किस ढंग से सब अडेप्टेशन हुआ है? जो ऑर्गेनिज्म जो हैबिटेट में रहता है उस हैबिटेट की कंडीशंस को वो अडेप्ट कर लेता है. इसका मतलब ऑर्गेनिज्म के अंदर कुछ ऐसे कैरेक्टर्स डेवलप होता है एंड दैट कैरेक्टर्स बिकम सुइटेबल एंड एडजस्ट विद द एनवायरमेंटल कंडीशन. दैट इज कॉल्ड द adaptation. That character may be morphological, may be physiological, may be biochemical. So, the different adaptation characters are found in the organisms. So, over a period of time, the organism had evolved adaptations. Organisms had evolved adaptations through natural selection. ये जो अडेप्टेशन डेवलप हुआ है, इवॉल्व हुआ है, ये नेचुरल सिलेक्शन के द्वारा इवॉल्व हुआ है. थ्रू नेचुरल सिलेक्शंस. सो ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम ऑर्गेनिजम्स हैड इवॉल्व्ड अडेप्टेशंस थ्रू नेचुरल सिलेक्शंस. और किस लिए हुआ है? टू ऑप्टिमाइज इट्स सर्वाइवल, टू ऑप्टिमाइज इट्स सर्वाइवल एंड रिप्रोडक्शन. To optimize its survival and reproduction to optimize its survival and reproduction in its habitat. सो कैसे वो उस हैबिटेट में सर्वाइव कर सकता है, रिप्रोड्यूस भी कर सकता है, ऑप्टिमम लेवल में कैसे वो काम कर सकता है, उसकी एडेप्टेशन हुआ है कहाँ पर, किस समय हुआ है, लॉन्ग पीरियड टाइम में वो एडेप्टेशन इवॉल्व हुआ है थ्रू नेचुरल सिलेक्शंस. Okay. Next, we will go to the biomes. So, with the variation in the temperature and the precipitation, different biomes are present on earth which has different kinds of flora and fauna, and the biomes annual mean temperature and annual mean precipitation varies from one biome to another biome. So, the variations in temperature and precipitation account for the formation of major biomes on earth: desert, rainforest, tundra, etc. These are the different biomes. So, different biomes has its own physical characteristics, its own flora and fauna. So, the different types of forests are also present in the different biome, that is temperate needle forest or coniferous forest, broadleaf forests, deciduous forests, and the rainforest. So, different type of forests are there. So, if you follow the NCERT book page number 220, there is a graphical representation of the different biomes. You can follow here the graphical representation are given in the NCERT. So, in one axis it has been taken. So, that is mean annual precipitation. This is mean annual precipitation. Okay. And this is 50, it is in centimeter. So, starting with the 50, 100 up to 450. So, here is 50, then 100, then 150, 200, like this, up to 450. Okay. In other axis, we will take mean annual temperature in degree centigrade. This is mean annual temperature in degree centigrade. Mean annual temperature in degree centigrade. starting from minus 15 to minus 10 like this. Here is minus 15, then minus 10, minus 5, 0 like this. It will go up to 30. Okay. So, you just see here the Arctic and the alpine tundra, it is starting from minus 10 up to 0, a little bit above 0, and the annual precipitation more than 100. So, annual precipitation more than 100 here and up to 0, up to this point it will go up to 0, because it is the very coldest area, the tundra region, very coldest area, and the less snowfall also up to 100, that is Arctic and alpine tundra, starting from minus 10 a little bit, minus 10 a little bit more than 0. So, starting from minus 10 it will go up to minus 10, okay, like that. You can follow the exact diagram in the NCERT. This is tundra region. Then the desert region is starting from 5 to more than 20 or up to 25 and below 50. The minimum precipitation is below 50, from 5 to more than, from 5, so below 50, so it should be, so within this, so 5 to a little bit above 20, but it should be below 50. This is the desert region. The grassland region, it is having the temperature from 0 to 25 and the precipitation below 100, 0 to 25, below 100, 0 to 25, and the precipitation, so it is 0 to 25, and there is some overlapping with the desert. Okay, it is the desert and this is the grassland, and this is tundra, Arctic tundra. Or alpine tundra. Next is the coniferous forest, that is starting from 50 rainfall up to more than 250, 50 to more than 250. So, 50 to more than here up to 250, 50 to 250. And the temperature a little bit below 0 up to 15, little bit 0 up to 15, like this. So, partly it cover tundra as well as partly it cover grassland. Okay. So, this is coniferous forest. Next is the temperate forest. The temperature from 10 up to the 25, from 10 it is up to 25, and the temperate forest that can overlap the coniferous part, overlap the coniferous as well as grassland, coniferous as well as grassland. And the annual precipitation up to 250, annual precipitation. So, here you look, this is the overlapping of the temperate forest, this one is the temperate forest. And if you look at the tropical forest, this is having the high temperature 20 to 25 temperature, and the rainfall from 150 up to 450, 150 up to 450 temperature, and 25 to 20 to 25. Here this region starting from 150 up to 450. It partly overlap with the temperate forest, partly overlap with the temperate forest. So, this one is up to 450, 150 to 450, 150 to 450 annual mean rainfall. (150 to 450), and the temperature, annual mean temperature that lies above 20 degree centigrade up to 25, above 20 degree centigrade it lies up to 25 or 30. This is known as tropical forest. This is tropical forest. So, different type of biomes have been given here in this graphical representation, that is called as biome distribution with respect to, this is known as biome distribution with respect to, annual temperature and precipitation. Annual temperature and precipitation. So, from this graphical representation you can follow which regions are, which biome occupy which position in the graph, and how the biome is distributed on the earth with its temperature and the precipitation, because the climatic condition of the earth varies from place to place, and that climatic condition mainly depend upon temperature and rainfall or precipitation. So, according to the mean annual precipitation and mean annual temperature, the biomes are distributed on earth's surface. So, you can also mark from this graph which regions are overlapped. Desert is overlapped with grassland, desert only overlap with grassland, and tundra is only overlap with coniferous forest. Some part of tundra and some part of coniferous forest are common region. So, desert and the grassland. Okay. Some are having some places of the desert and the and the grasslands are overlapped, and some of the tundra and coniferous overlap, and there is also overlapping of tropical and temperate. This tropical, ऐसे भी क्वेश्चन आ सकता है कि ट्रॉपिकल किसके साथ ओवरलैप होगा. सो ट्रॉपिकल जो रीजन है वो किसके साथ ओवरलैप होगा, ऐसे भी क्वेश्चंस आ सकते हैं. सो ट्रॉपिकल ओनली ओवरलैप विथ टेम्परेट. टुंड्रा किसके साथ ओनली ओवरलैप होगा, टुंड्रा ओनली विथ कॉनिफरस. डेजर्ट किसके साथ ओवरलैप होगा, डेजर्ट विथ ग्रासलैंड. सो मैक्सिमम ओवरलैपिंग कौन हुआ है, ग्रासलैंड. ग्रासलैंड टेम्परेट के साथ ओवरलैपिंग हुआ है, ग्रासलैंड कॉनिफरस के साथ ओवरलैपिंग हुआ है, ग्रासलैंड डेजर्ट के साथ ओवरलैपिंग हुआ है. ओके, एंड टेम्परेट भी 3 के साथ ओवरलैपिंग हुआ है, ट्रॉपिकल के साथ, ग्रासलैंड के साथ एंड कॉनिफरस के साथ. ओके, so there is the different overlapping regions in the different biome. So if you mark here the different biomes, you will find the different mean annual rainfall and mean annual temperature, and the flora and fauna like the नॉर्दर्न कॉनिफरस फॉरेस्ट जो है उसका फ्लोरा एंड फाउना डिफरेंट है, टुंड्रा का फ्लोरा एंड फाउना डिफरेंट है. सो विल गिव्स ए लिटिल डिस्क्रिप्शन अबाउट द डिफरेंट बायोम्स. सो मेजर बायोम्स ऑन अर्थ. अर्थ में क्या क्या सब मेजर बायोम्स है. So what are the major biomes on earth? So first we will start with the different major biomes are there. So first is the tundra. Number 1 is tundra. So we will first discuss with tundra. So it is present or it lies north of timberline. तो टिम्बरलाइन जो कॉनिफरस फॉरेस्ट है वो टिम्बरलाइन होता है, प्रेजेंट नॉर्थ ऑफ टिम्बरलाइन, प्रेजेंट नॉर्थ ऑफ टिम्बरलाइन. और प्रेजेंट नॉर्थ ऑफ टिम्बरलाइन और 60 डिग्री नॉर्थ लैटिट्यूड, 60 degree north latitude, बिलो टिम्बर लाइन से ऊपर है ये, लेकिन 60 डिग्री नॉर्थ लैटिट्यूड में है, 60 डिग्री नॉर्थ लैटिट्यूड बिलो द पोलर आइस. ओनली अकर्स इन द आर्कटिक रीजन, यानी नॉर्थ पोल में होता है. ओनली अकर्स इन द आर्कटिक रीजन, ओनली अकर्स इन द आर्कटिक रीजन, so called arctic tundra, so called आर्कटिक तुंद्रा. सो ये ओनली आर्कटिक रीजन है, यानी कि नॉर्थ पोल के पास होता है. इज ऑप्शन इन द साउदर्न हेमिस्फीयर, बिकॉज द कॉरेस्पॉन्डिंग रीजन हियर इन साउदर्न हेमिस्फीयर इज कवर्ड बाय अंटार्कटिक रीजन. ओके, एक्सट्रीम कोल्ड क्लाइमेट, excuse me, extreme cold climate, winter temperature -30 to -40, extreme cold, winter temperature -30 to -40. that is the winter temperature, very less temperature, winter temperature minus 30 to minus 40. Strong winds and those snow storms are frequent. Summer short duration में होते हैं, साल में 45 to 75 days only summer होता है, और summer का जो maximum temperature है that is 10 degree centigrade. तो summer short duration and the maximum temperature का 10 डिग्री सेंटीग्रेड होता है. ओके, सॉइल इज इन परमानेंटली फ्रोजन स्टेट, दैट इज कॉल्ड परमाफ्रॉस्ट.